Let's talk about one of the most effective and powerful tools in your arsenal. It's free and it's not that hard to master. It's hard to start with, but it's not that hard to master. First, I'll tell you a story. A client of mine called me and he said, "Mark, I'm just so disappointed in myself. He used harsher words than that. I'm just so disappointed in myself. I got triggered." I said, "Oh, tell me the story. Tell me what happened." And one of the people who he worked with came at him with something and was pretty angry, and he got flustered, and he says, I froze and I didn't understand what was going on, and I was totally triggered and angry, and I didn't know what to do. So what I said was, hold on a minute, you caught me off guard. If you give me a couple minutes to think about this, I'll come back to you with an answer." So I went back to my office. I thought about it. I looked at the materials, had an answer, and I went back and I handled the situation. He goes, "I'm just so embarrassed." And I was like, "That was awesome." And he's, "What are you talking about?" I said, "That was the exact right thing to do." He goes, "But I got triggered. I got flustered." I said, "There's nothing wrong with that. There's no way we're going to beat the humanity out of ourselves. There's no way we're going to be Zen Master Flash in every given situation. There's no way we can be grounded, centered, have the right answer, have everything at our fingertips all the time. It's just not going to happen. It might be even every single day, something's going to catch you off guard. Now, the tool I'm talking about is the ability to pause, the ability to say, oh my God, I need a minute. That caught me off guard. Let me have a moment to think about it, and I'll give you a much better response. Most of us either shut down or we go on the offensive. We go into some sort of fight or flight and try to sound smart or try to feel like we have it or try and turn something around so that we don't look stupid, when all it is taking a breath, pausing, saying, "I will get back to you in a few minutes when I had a moment to think about this," and then respond in a different way. Does that make sense? Like it feels terrible to not have an answer on the spot, especially if it's your boss or someone of consequence or something maybe it's even something you should already know. And it's just not coming. That happens to me with the ADD all the time. Is something I know really well, especially people's names and things like that. All of a sudden it flies out of my head. I can't memorize a script for the life of me. So taking a moment, pausing and coming back is actually mastery. That's mastering your trigger. That's mastering your emotional state. I had a conversation with one of my sons about something, and we were taking a walk, and he shared something with me that he was about to do, and the thing that he was about to do was probably the single scariest thing he could have said to me. It was honest to God, it was the thing that I couldn't handle. And I just was quiet, and we were walking, and he keeps talking, and I'm just breathing, and in my head I am unleashing the fury, all the fear, all the anger, all the blame, all this stuff that just triggered. I was triggered beyond triggered, but I knew this was my son. Whatever I say next is important. So I'm just quiet, and I'm quiet, and he's still talking. And then he says, "You're mad at me, aren't you? You're mad at me." Now my son is the most responsible human being I've ever met. So he wasn't, it wasn't a bad thing. It was just something that scared me. So I couldn't talk. And he goes, "I know you're mad at me." And finally I said, "I'm not mad. I'm not angry. I'm scared. I need a minute." So we walk a little bit more. And then I started to talk about how this scared me. I said, "Before I can talk about the topic rationally, I just want to let you know this is why I'm scared. This is why it triggered me. This is what I'm dealing with internally." And he goes, "Okay, great." And then he starts to talk to me about it, and we start to have a conversation. And within a half hour, we're having a level headed conversation. And part of that conversation, because I took the time to deal with my fear, because I took the time to let the trigger subside, I was able to acknowledge him for what an incredible human being he is for wanting to do the thing that he was going to do. I'm sorry to be cryptic. It's his private thing, so I don't want to share it. But it turned out to be like a beautiful acknowledgement. We came to an agreement. He's heard my side of this thing and why it was scary for me, and he made a different choice. He made a choice in the same direction, uh, but one that was adjusted enough to take my feelings into account. Now, something that was so important to me, I don't usually impose my will on my children, and I wasn't going to impose my will on this either. But because I felt so strongly, he made a different decision. But I wasn't weak or bad because I was triggered. I was actually, and I only know this in hindsight because at the time I was really sad that I was so triggered. But that was masterful of me to keep my wits about me, to share that I was scared, not angry, to not lash out because I wanted to lash out, and to let that subside. So the pause is your friend. If you don't know the answer, if you're caught off guard, if you feel like you look stupid, right, whatever the thing is that triggered you, if you can take a moment, pause, even walk away and share, hey, look, I'm caught off guard. I need a minute. You're in great shape. So I'm going to leave you with something from Kim Scott, who wrote Radical Candor. She said on the podcast, and it's in the Rising Leader Handbook, if you are about to send the angry email and you are proud that it's a real zinger, stop. If it feels too good, don't send it. Pause, reflect, respond in a better way. That is your superpower, the ability to not take the bait, to take a moment and respond, not react, is your superpower. I love you a ton. Have a great rest of the day.